Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are well on our way into 2023, into a new year, but before we get too far into the year, I just wanted to take a minute and sit down and quickly recap my work year in 2022. So if you don't know, I work as a freelance writer and content marketer for companies in the healthcare, digital marketing, education, and pet industries, which basically means I sit on my couch and write blog posts for a few hours each day. It's a pretty great gig. I've been running my own business as a freelance writer for several years now, ever since graduating high school, and I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing clients, amazing companies, and to build a career that works for me and can fit in around my chronic illnesses and my body's needs. So today I'm going to be recapping my work year in 2022, including mistakes I made, favorite clients I worked with, my schedule, and of course the juicy stuff like exactly how much money I made. So if you're interested in hearing all of that, stick around and let's get started. So the big question is, how much money did I make in 2022? I hear from a lot of people that they think you can't make money as a writer, and the reason that I'm sharing my exact income is because I want to dispel that myth and encourage people that you can. So in 2022, I made exactly $90,000. So I'm not raking in millions by any means, but I made a very healthy income that I'm super happy with, especially considering that because of my chronic illnesses, I can usually only work a few hours a day, probably about 15 hours a week on average. So this 90K number comes out to an average of $7,500 per month. Last year, I made the least money in January. I was in and out of the hospital that whole month, really weak, really sick, and I only earned $5,554. And the month that I made the most money was in June, when I earned a little bit over $9,000. Although looking back, I'm honestly not really sure how, because that was a super busy month with traveling and seeing friends. I also have a virtual assistant who helps me get more done. I hired a new VA in April of 2022, and she has been amazing. That was one of the best decisions I could have made for my business, to get another VA. I had not had one for a couple of years, and she has been awesome, and I ended up paying her a total of a little over $4,000 in 2022, which is an average of $450 for each month that she worked for me. So extremely affordable, but super, super helpful as well. She does research and outlining for a couple of my clients. So basically what I will do is I will send her the article topic, and she will take that and structure it into a blog post with headings. She will do research according to the parameters, avoiding competitor sites, finding reputable, high quality sources for external linking, that sort of thing. And she will take all of that research information and pull it into the document for me and put it into the outline. And that saves me a lot of time, because when I get ready to sit down and actually write the piece, all I have to do is write. I don't have to go back and forth between a million different tabs, because everything is right there. So that is what my VA does for me. And there were also a few times in 2022 when she was not available and I hired someone else, but paid them similar rates. In 2022, I worked with a total of 40 clients. About 25 of those clients were consistent retainer clients that I worked with for multiple months, which is definitely the model that I prefer. And 27 out of my total 40 clients were new to me this year, which is almost 3/4. I found the majority of these clients from places like LinkedIn, Twitter, freelance networking groups, simply referrals, word of mouth. Most of these clients were in the healthcare industry or the digital marketing/tech industry, along with some education clients, some career clients, some pet clients. I also expanded into some new industries or sub-industries this year, such as cybersecurity and the financial industry, which has been really neat. And the type of work that I do is very largely blog posts and articles. I'd say probably 90%, if not even more. But this year, I also wrote some content like ebooks, emails, and social media copy. In 2022, I was very fortunate to have largely good experiences with my clients, but I definitely had a few one-off projects I should not have accepted where the pay ended up not being enough to cover everything that I had to do, or where I felt the communication expectations were not reasonable. My highest paying client last year was a well-known consumer health website. They paid me a little bit over $11,000 total throughout the year. And my second highest paying client was a marketing agency that paid me a little over $10,000. I have to say, I was a little surprised these two clients got those top spots because their rates are just average, honestly. But I did consistent work for each of them almost every month of the year. So I guess that consistency paid off. My total yearly income of $90,000 divided by my 40 clients equals out to an average of $2,250 per client, which is honestly really not that much at all. And it's interesting now to see which clients I should have focused on, which ones were totally not worth my time. But, hindsight is 2020. When it comes to my work schedule, my schedule is very flexible depending on how I'm feeling, what else I have going on that day, that week. But an average work day for me is from about 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And I'd say that I probably average about 15 hours of work per week. This year, I took off a full week in September just because I wanted to, which was amazing. And I also took off about 10 days at Christmas, although I ended up really sick and in the hospital for pretty much that whole time, so it wasn't really a vacation. But I will very frequently take off a day for either medical procedures and appointments. I remember there was one week last January where I only did 3 hours of work the entire week because of health stuff and being really sick. Or I will take time off for a day trip or a weekend trip. In 2023, it would be great if I could hit 6 figures, especially because I'm saving to buy a house, but I am not setting that as a specific goal because I just don't want to put that pressure on myself. Earning money is great. Obviously, I am so thankful to be financially very comfortable, but because my health is so poor, my primary goal with work is to simply build a career that works for my body's limitations and needs and still leaves me with energy to do the other things that I love to do, like writing music and writing fiction. So if I can earn 5 figures in 1 month, that's great. And if it's much less than that, that is okay too, because my body just can't do as much as most people's, and energy is more important to me than money. So that is a very brief summary of my work year in 2022. I am so thankful for all of my amazing clients who are a pleasure to work with every day and who enable me to continue running a lucrative business that works with the lifestyle my body needs me to live. If you are a company who is interested in working with me this year, I'm going to leave my website and my contact information in the description box. And if you would simply like to learn more about my career, I am also going to link a podcast interview that I did this past summer, and that shares more about how I got started and what I do every day. Thanks so much for watching, and Happy New Year!